Everyone, I am now calling the Joint Budget and Finance Committee meeting and Committee of the Whole meeting to order. It is Monday, March 13th, 2023, and the time is 3:35 p.m. Councilors, have you had a chance to look at the minutes from the last meeting?
Yes.
Is it
Second.
all in favor? Say aye. Aye. And then one abstention, and that's myself. Okay, councilors, now we're going on to the consideration of the consent agenda. Councilors, do you have any items you'd like to place on consent?
Yes, Madam Chair, I do.
Madam President.
I'd like to offer the following items for consent. Item number 5 on page 1. Item number 7 on page 2. Item number 8 on page 3. Item number 13 and 14 on page 5. Items 16, 17, 18, and 19 on page 6. And those are the only ones I have.
Okay, so let's go through the items. Item number 5 on page 1. Item number 7 on page 2. Item number 8 on page 3. Let's skip over to page 5. Items 13, 14, and 16. Page 6. Items 17, 18, and 19. There's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The consent agenda passes. If your item was placed on consent agenda, you may go home and enjoy this lovely day. Okay, the first item is item number 4, a resolution by the Council of the City of Birmingham authorizing the mayor to execute for and as the act of said city a professional services contract with Gray Quarter Incorporated for technical expertise in network infrastructure, software development process, or SDLC, system-to-system interfaces, APIs, web services, databases, SaaS, SOA, methodologies for assistance with phases 2 and 3 of the permitting project for a term of 1 year for an amount not to exceed $319,200.
Move the item.
Chief.
Mr. Patrick McKellen can come in and speak to this item.
Good afternoon, councilors. Patrick McClendon, serve as Director of Information Management Services. And this is a professional services agreement with a company called Gray Quarter. They're kind of a boutique company. They specialize in doing interfaces and software integration. In this case, they'll be helping us integrate the Excella product, which does our permitting and code enforcement, and that sort of thing, with our website, so that as contractors or citizens go to look at this type of service, so permitting or code enforcement or anything like that on our website, it's very user-friendly and is kind of meant to meet whatever person that is where they are, instead of them having to guess what the process is and all. It's going to be a much better user experience to be able to access those services.
Okay. Councilors, do you have any questions, Madam President?
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. McClendon. I just have a question regarding this service. I'm my ear when we talk about code enforcement.
Right.
Does it help on the back end or any of the other end when it comes to riding around and trying to see if a contractor is permitted?
The Excella product itself does all of that.
Yes.
What this is specifically so that the customer facing, so citizens or businesses, contractors like that, when they're submitting plans for approval, that sort of thing, or when they're looking for what kind of permit they should look for and all those web services that would be on our public facing website. But the Excella suite of applications, which y'all have already approved and we've been working on for a while, does all the back end things that our people would be doing.
Of what I'm speaking of.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
yes,
thank you.
Okay, Councilor Abbott, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I've only gotten 3 permits in my life, and so my question is, when council members are out or our staffs are out and we see people doing midnight renovations, obviously to avoid the city, can we go on to this user-friendly site and find out if they have a permit and they just forgot to put it out?
I honestly don't know the answer to that. I think
Okay, I'll ask Mr. Chaz.
I can find out for you.
Good. Because I hate to bother people if there's a way for me to check into things myself. You know,
We'll see if that's a function that either Excella or this product would have.
I like the user-friendly part anyway. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, councilors, do you have any other questions? If not, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Item 4 passes. Next item is item number 6. A resolution by the Council of the City of Birmingham authorizing the mayor to apply, accept, and expend grant funds on behalf of the City of Birmingham in the amount of $600,000 with the Office of Civil Rights, Office of Justice Programs, Bureau of Justice Assistance, United States Department of Justice, as authorized by the U.S. Code of Federal Regulations and under the FY23 Body-Worn Camera Policy and Implementation Program to support law enforcement agencies, a project supported by grant number OBJA 2023-171562 for a term of 36 months, with a required city match of $300,000, authorizing the mayor to take any and all actions, execute such other documents as are appropriate and necessary in accordance with the terms of the grant.
I move approval.
Second.
Chief.
I tried to stop you before you started reading, but we want to withdraw this item. I tried.
We're going to withdraw that one. Thank you. It's okay.
But you can bring up items 9 through 11 together,
Yes, sir.
if that helps.
Yes, sir. Got you, Chief. Okay. Item number 9, a Good Jobs Challenge Grant sub-recipient agreement with the Prosper Foundation, under which the Prosper Foundation will participate in all phases of implementing the grant, including the establishment of the Health Sector Leadership Council, Healthcare Employer Roundtable, and Workforce Success Roundtable, design new training pathways in community health and digital health with employers to meet employer demand, and implementing programs to train the target population in employer demanded skills with a board chair to serve on the HSLC for a term of 1 year for an amount not to exceed $3,159,000. And then item 10 is the same grant with Strive International Incorporated, under which Strive will serve as a member of the Worker Success Roundtable, contributing to the co-design of programming and training that is responsive to the needs of the industry and job seeker, and will recruit, train, and support job seekers in accordance with the budget and projects, primarily during the 3rd phase of the grant. Program implementation for a 1 year amount not to exceed $1,108,119. And then number 11 is the same grant with the Women's Foundation of Alabama, which will serve as members of the Worker Success Roundtable, contributing to the co-design of programming and training that is responsive to the needs of industry and job seeker, and alongside other training providers will recruit, train, and support job seekers during the 3rd phase of the grant, and this is for 1 year not to exceed $1,627,500.
Items.
Second.
Chief.
Yes, we'll bring up Ms. Sarah McMillan, who can speak to all 3 items.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm Sarah McMillan. I serve as the Manager of Workforce and Talent Development within the Office of Innovation and Economic Opportunity. And happy to be back up here talking about the Good Jobs Challenge grant. So last year we were awarded a $10.8 million grant from the Economic Development Administration, their Good Jobs Challenge, which was one of 6 competitive grants released from the American Rescue Plan. So the city, alongside several other community partners, came together to create the Birmingham Region Health Partnership, which is designed to place historically excluded job seekers into high-demand healthcare roles within the region. This partnership includes healthcare, digital health employers, workforce training providers, and community-based organizations. The 3 agreements before you represent 3 of our 5 sub-awardees approved by the EDA, so Prosper Foundation, Strive International, and the Women's Foundation of Alabama. Prosper will support our work to establish committees and roundtable structures, which will really be the force behind making sure this grant places job seekers into in-demand roles. This will be Prosper's focus will be on new training pathways into this emerging field, which is like this healthcare, health tech space. Strive is an organization that's new to the Birmingham market, having decades of success in New York and recently opening operations in Atlanta as well. Strive has a track record of working with justice-involved individuals and communities with significant barriers to the workforce, which we're really excited about in our grant. And then the Women's Foundation will also work with job seekers and training providers to scale existing programs, specifically building on their previous engagement with Jeff State, their partnership with Jeff State, Child Care Resources, and Ascension St. Vincent's. But essentially, the agreements in front of you are implementing what has been approved by the EDA and allowing us to essentially move to phase 2, where we can start to actually line up training providers.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Abbott, do you have any questions?
Actually, she answered all my questions. I'm good.
Okay. Madam President?
Thank you. Thank you very much. I just wanted to get clarity. These are 3 of 5.
Correct.
We've already done the other 2, correct? Or where are they
We're
now?
working on the other 2.
Okay. Thank you very much. And I believe this is the same EDA. Is this who we met with, or they gave us conversation when we were at NLC or League a while back? Anyway, I was just going to compliment you. We did get a
Yes,
great
that
compliment
is the same thing, yes.
Awesome.
by this individual about the grant and the submission that was made by the City of Birmingham. So great job. Thank you.
Awesome.
I guess my question is more about I don't know if you all have gotten into the details yet about how you will be advertising this and recruiting to people. I know a lot of times residents kind of talk about not knowing about different things at the city. So what's the plan for that?
So 2 things specifically. So the grant is broken up into 3 phases. We are currently in the system development phase. Essentially, we're in the next couple weeks, hopefully moving into the program design phase, and then there'll be program implementation. So during the next phase, program design, a big part of what the city is responsible for is essentially starting a marketing campaign. So Good Jobs Challenge will essentially become the Birmingham Region Health Partnership. We'll launch a website. We'll be able to put dollars essentially that were built into this grant to be able to make sure that we're marketing the folks that we want to market to.
Okay, you may have said this when you first brought this to us. How many jobs are we looking to create?
So over the 3-year process, we've committed to training 1,000 individuals throughout the region. And of that 1,000, I want to say 98% are coming from our target populations, which are people of color, specifically Black people, women, justice-impacted folks, and other people with acute barriers to the workforce. So that comes to 8. I can get you the exact, but it's somewhere between 800 and 900 actual placed people into jobs.
Okay, and this is looking, so you said health tech, so that's like UAB, Southern Research, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes, so it will be healthcare roles, but also healthcare adjacent roles, and so we understand that could be, that there's jobs in healthcare that don't involve blood or, working in a hospital, and so understanding that there's those type of roles as well.
So with that training, I know you mentioned about community colleges. Is it, say for instance, I don't have the degree to go into healthcare tech. Is it we're partnering with Jeff State and then they're putting me through these courses and then contingent upon me finishing the courses successfully, then I have that job waiting for me? Is that how it works?
It depends. And so what's really great about this grant is understanding that there's a wide array of job seekers, and some of them are interested in a fast track. There will be even some upskilling available for folks that are in existing healthcare roles that are perhaps looking to upskill or move into different roles within the healthcare sector. But essentially, that's the work of the next stage, is deciding what that program mix looks like. But yes, so if there is someone that's interested in pursuing a 2-year or a 4-year degree, that there will be opportunities for them to essentially do that. And that will actually sit with one of our other sub-awardees, is these coaching roles that will essentially be able to meet one-on-one with job seekers and determine what's the best fit for them.
Oh, that's so good. I think a lot of times people don't stay in jobs or really have that trickle effect of going to poverty. They don't have that type of support, and they feel, they don't feel encouraged, honestly. So I'm excited to hear that. Just one more question.
Yeah.
about previously convicted felons. Is this an opportunity for them to participate in the program? Have we looked at that?
Yeah, and so what's another great piece about our application is that we're convening these different groups. And so one of them is a worker success roundtable. So a lot of that is like training, educational institutions, folks who are actually serving job seekers. And then there's a second roundtable, which is our healthcare employer roundtable. And so what this grant really seeks to do is to kind of bridge that gap between like what folks are experiencing boots on the ground in our communities and then what healthcare employers need. So it really could be determining what are those jobs that are great entry points for someone who's looking for a career in a healthcare space that perhaps has a barrier, which is, some sort of record.
Okay, great. That's so good, because a lot of times when people come out of prison, they can't find a job. We all know this. And then they kind of go back to what they were used to. So I'm really glad we're giving support to really everybody, because a lot of times we say, people of color, and we don't consider single mom, not us, but just people in general, single moms, previously convicted felons, maybe high school dropouts or college dropouts. So I'm excited about this. Counselors, do you have any other questions?
Yes.
Madam President?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to also just ask, the next phase is the program design. I know so far we've mentioned UAB and Jeff State. Is there any consideration for increasing that number of institutions that may be able to provide resources, such as Lawson State?
Yeah. So UAB...
Or is it specific for this grant?
And Lawson is a participant. They were a thought partner when we drafted this application, which was wonderful, and Dr. Anthony's been amazing. But they're involved in our Worker Success Roundtable. And so there's several other educational institutions that are involved as thought partners, and perhaps down the next... within that next phase, there's a space for training to be there. But UAB's primary role, in addition to being an employer, is to provide support and wraparound services to Birmingham Promise students that are essentially seeking healthcare-related studying fields of study at UAB.
Thank you, because that was going to be my second
Yeah.
follow-up about Birmingham City Schools and the programs they have within the career academies and different opportunities. I know they service and provide, certified CRAs or nursing assistants. There is a program where they help. CNA. What is it? CNA?
CNA.
Yes, and so they do have a program that helps to certify students, and they can come out of high school with that certification. All right,
Absolutely.
thank you.
Okay. Counsel Abbott?
Well, and just one other thing about our homeless population. I know a lot of them have issues that they would not do well in health care, but about 25 or 30% of people who are homeless. So is there are you all planning on dealing with some of the homeless providers about people that they have in their programs who are at a point where they could have a good chance of success with?
Yeah. That's a great point, and definitely something for us to consider. A large reason why the city felt strongly about leading this application is the EDA's call to action was very specific about the populations that they wanted to serve, and we said Birmingham has that population. We have the capacity, we have the talent, we have the people who can fill these local roles that are available now. And so part of these next two phases will be what can we do to really make sure that we're beefing up on that promise that we made. And so some of that is when we launch this marketing campaign, being intentional about who we're reaching out to. But that's a great point.
Well, thank you.
Okay. It's weird. Do you have any more questions? Okay. Well, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Items 9 through 11 pass. Thank you. Next item is item 12, and this is in agreement with the National Association of Black Journalists, NABJ, and they will conduct their annual National Convention and Career Fair on August 2nd through the 6th, 2023 in the city of Birmingham, which is expected to increase tourism by bringing thousands of visitors to the city, generate additional revenue, and provide a positive economic benefit to the city, and will provide positive publicity to the city from the extensive print and electronic media coverage of the event, and the city will provide incentives to NABJ in the amount not to exceed $150,000 for conducting its annual National Convention and Career Fair in Birmingham.
Move the item.
Second.
Gonna bring up Mr. Coriate Hauser of IEO.
You know, I was just saying we hadn't seen you lately.
That's a good thing.
I've seen you more outside. Well, good afternoon. Coriate Hauser, Service Deputy Director for Department of Innovation and Economic Opportunity. What you have before you is a funding agreement for the National Association of Black Journalists in the amount of $150,000 for their National Career Convention that will be here in Birmingham. Last year was held in Las Vegas. This year it will be here in Birmingham with an estimated economic impact of about $2 million. The funding source for this is ARPA funding. If you recall, the council allocated $1 million towards attracting conferences and conventions, and so that's the funding pot that this particular agreement will come out of. The conference is expected to attract more than 4,000 journalists and media professionals here in Birmingham. The National Association provides education, information, and training to the general public around journalism and the media industry. That's a wide field of opportunity there for our citizens, our residents, and students here in Birmingham. Some of the recent convention and career fair partners include Walt Disney World, Fox, ABC, Warner Brothers, etc. And so we're excited about this agreement to assist with this national convention that'll be here. The budget is somewhere north of $2 million to put on such an event from their last numbers, and so we are coming in at $150K, or asking the council to come in at $150K to support this event here in Birmingham, which will be, I don't think I mentioned, August 2nd through August 6th of this year.
Okay. Councilors, do you have any questions?
I do have just one
Councilor
question. Okay, this is going to be a 4-day conference. Will all 4 days of it be career fair, or will it be like 1 day of career fair and 3 days of conventioning?
It's a combination of all. For all 4 days, it'll be career and convention. So you'll get sort of career, and then you'll also get just the convention of bringing all of those media professionals together.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because the journalists all already have a job. So the journalists all already have a job, so this will be for youth and people who are looking for a new...
Well, nationally, they will all descend onto Birmingham. So national journalists and media professionals will all be here. And then there's a second part of that, which is a career part, which our local residents can get involved in.
Okay, good. As long as our people are in there. Thank you.
Madam President?
Thank you. I just want to say that I have been aware of this particular organization and the work they're doing to, I want to say, support students or journalists who are just getting started in the field by some of the educational and opportunities that they have during this convention and beyond. And I just think it's a great opportunity again to get the message out about the city of Birmingham and get people in here to see what Birmingham is all about. So thank you very much.
Okay. My only challenge, if y'all could get my friends who went to Las Vegas to come to Birmingham. Because I did have a few friends that went to the convention in Las Vegas. And I was like, are you coming to Birmingham? They're like,
Mm-hmm.
So if y'all can get my friends to come, then, I think y'all are going to do a good job. But so basically, we'll break even, because you said the economic impact is $2 million and the budget is $2 million.
Yeah, so that's obviously on the National Association.
Gotcha,
so
okay.
We're only providing the $150,000 of support for this.
Gotcha. Okay.
But that's on their end. But the impact for those days, and like I said, that's a very conservative impact. It could be higher than that. Obviously, we only do impact for the days of the conference.
Gotcha.
They'll be here much earlier, so that could be higher than that.
Okay. Well, if there aren't any other questions, there was a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
That item passes. Thank you. Next item. And also hi, Roy Johnson and Steve Crocker. Item number 15, an agreement between the City of Birmingham and Lawson State, under which Lawson State Community College will provide workforce development training, more particularly described as commercial driver's license training for city employees, and the city will provide vehicles for use by the city employees during the course of the training.
Move the item.
Second.
Chief?
All right, we're going to bring up Mr. Josh Yates, Director of Public Works.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Josh Yates, and I serve as the Director of the Department of Public Works. This item for us today is an opportunity for our existing staff to go out and get their commercial driver's license so that we can move them up. One of the biggest gaps we've had and one of the biggest hindrances we've had in order to complete our operations is actually certified operators to take our trucks out. Lawson State approached us with this opportunity to be able to participate in this training for free as long as we provide the vehicle for them to use. So we have this before you today as an interlocal agreement. It's at no cost to the city. One of our biggest components is promoting from within, and anytime we can take somebody that's been here and worked hard and try to move them up in the ranks, we try to do that. This is an opportunity for us to do that. Early 2022, the CDL, the federal regulations changed on CDL driving, and it made it very difficult for people and a lot more expensive for people to get their CDL. This right here will help us, and it will go a long ways and prevent our employees from having to leave work or go somewhere else and pay a lot of money in order to get this training.
Okay. Madam President, do you have any questions?
Yes, I do. Thank you so much, Mr. Yates. I know that in recent months and just the past few years, not only here in the city of Birmingham, but nationally, we have a lot of employers who are having trouble filling jobs and require this CDL or this particular license. You did mention the training will be free of charge for the employee as well as for the city. You said as long as we provide the truck.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And do you have any idea of, or is there criteria that's already going to be established or is established for how one can go into this program if I'm already an employee?
So if you're a city employee, you have to go out and get your permit, like a learner's permit almost, before you get a regular driver's license. And there's study guides that are provided. So they have to do the basic permit side to get their permit. And once they have their permit, they can go into this training course and train with an actual certified trainer.
Any idea of how long this certification takes, and will this take the employee off the job and into another where they have to work a different time frame in order to complete the training?
So the goal of this is for CDL-B would be a 3-week course. For CDL-A, it would be a 4-week course. Both are offered the same deal, no expense, and the employee would actually it would be like they're training on the job almost.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Councilor Abbott, do you have any questions?
Oh, I do. Once these people get their training, do you think our trash and brush will be picked up on time? Because that's a big, 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 big issue. You know, having our neighborhoods look all trashy for weeks and weeks and weeks on end, because some people put their stuff out the minute they create it. So we basically have garbage-strewn neighborhoods like 24/7. That's so frustrating, especially to the people who know the law and they wait until the night before their day for pickup, and they take all their stuff out and then it doesn't get picked up for a while. So is this going to help?
Yes, ma'am. We've been working extremely hard to fill the operator gap. That's been a big problem for a long time now. We're finally getting very, very good applicants in, and we're getting them in, and we're training them on our routes and also how to operate our equipment. We're not far away from having that gap filled. So this will just add to it. The next level truck driver is a truck driver step down. It's just a truck driver role. Those are also very important in an area where we have roughly 20 vacancies across the department. Again, that hinders operations by not having those. So that position, a lot of our laborers who obtain their CDL could move into the truck driver and then have opportunities to move up into heavy equipment operator, construction equipment operator, and refuse truck driver. And those main categories are the ones that are the hardest to fill. Those are the ones that impact the services that you talk about. When we are short on drivers, that's what causes some of our biggest slowdowns.
Good, because I think all of us get those same complaints, and I'm sure you do too. Sometimes I tell them to call you because I can't talk to you, but they can. Anyway, so thank you. That's really good news. And what's the difference between a 4 and a 5? A CDL? Oh, A and C. Where did I
A and a
get-
B license. So a B is your generic. Actually, a B is required for a truck driver role, and the CDL Class A is for a construction equipment operator or any sort of special endorsement. So we do have some jobs that require special endorsements. It's basically for tanker endorsements or for heavier weights. So your CDL apply to not only air brakes but also the weight or the length of the trailer, things of that nature. It depends on the size truck and what type of truck we're operating.
Thank you. I was just curious.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Madam President.
One last thing.
Yes, ma'am.
The operators of the equipment that picks up the brush and the the limbs, what type of, is that an A or a B or B or whatever?
It's a mix. We have some, they call our trucks a pickers. Those pickers have a main truck with a boom, and then they pull a trailer. Those require a CDL A, where they sit up high on the machine to pick the piles. They carry more weight, are able to pick up the big logs and brush piles. Whereas your standard limb loader or lightning loader is what they call it. That's all one truck. It's not pulling a trailer. Those are your Bs. Also, refuse trucks are Bs. So it's really just depending on the truck. Another example is our vac trucks for storm sewers. So those require special endorsements for tankers.
Well, in lieu of Women's History Month, I want to give a shout out. I know I've seen a couple of ladies that are driving those trucks, and they do a great job they take a lot of care when they come in the neighborhood and pick it up, and so I just want to thank them for their work. Thank you.
They do an incredible job.
Thank you.
If there are any other questions, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The item passes. Thank you, Mr. Yates. Next item is item number 20. An agreement with the Building Peace Incorporated, under which Building Peace will assist the City of Birmingham with the organization, promotion, and management of the International Peace Conference scheduled to take place at the BJCC from May 4th through May 6th, 2023, which will have nationally and internationally recognized speakers on a variety of topics, ranging from individual peace and peace in the communities to human trafficking and international peace. The fee for the services will be for an amount not to exceed $25,000.
I move approval.
Second.
Chief?
Yeah, we'll bring up Ms. Uche Bean that will speak on this item and this potential sponsorship for this convention.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm Uche Bean. I serve as Deputy Director for the Division of Social Justice and Racial Equity. And we have an International Peace Conference coming to Birmingham. It is being presented by the Rotary International District 6860 of North and Central Alabama, and in partnership with the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute and the Institute for Human Rights at the University of Alabama. They are presenting the International Peace Conference, which will bring together people from all across our nation and the globe to highlight the pursuit of peace at all levels of society. Of course, it's also in commemoration of the 60th anniversary of the Birmingham Campaign for Civil and Human Rights. I think important things for us to know about it, the Rotary Club is working right now with the Birmingham City Schools to build peace. So Birmingham City students will participate in the conference at no cost. Of course, we're looking for an economic impact and tourism. There's a bunch of information about this peace conference on their website, but again, just pursuing peace, and I think that's really important with what we have going on in Birmingham.
I definitely agree. Madam President, do you have any questions?
Yes, did you mention how many participants you anticipate? Or
right now they're looking at an attendance of about 1,500 people locally and regionally, which includes 500 youth, 400 national and international. People like Bernice King will be speaking.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Okay, Councilor Abbott?
No, all my questions have been answered. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. The item passes. Thank you.
Thank y'all. Have a good afternoon.
No old and new business. The next Budget and Finance Committee meeting will be on Monday, April 10th, 2023 at 3:30 p.m. We're not having another one because we'll be at National League of Cities. Councilor Abbott.
Well, I get a day off.
You do get a day. Actually, you may get 2 days off.
Go out and clean out my gutters.
Okay. Is there a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.